Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I know, it has been a hot minute since I have made and uploaded a video, but honestly, May was just an incredibly busy month for us, both in our personal lives and work-wise, and it just was like so much that I did not have time or the energy to sit down and film a video. But I'm back now. I'm here to do this video. I am here to get back on track with the regularly scheduled programming and bring you all some new vinyl content. And I have quite a bit planned. A few weeks ago, I posted a post on my community tab, which I think now is just the post tab, and it shared some upcoming videos that you all can expect, and I do still plan to do all of those, but I've also got some other ones that I want to throw in there as well. So I am super excited to get into those in future videos. However, for this video, we are bringing back the vinyl records that don't exist but should, and this is part 2. I've already done one. You all really enjoyed it. You liked the records that I had created and had come up with, and so I had an entire list of other ones that I wanted to create as well. I just didn't want that first one to be too long, and so we are going to be going through some more of those, and I've also included some records that you all suggested in the comments of my last video. But before we get into the vinyl records that don't exist but should, I'm going to ask you all to please subscribe to my channel if you are not already. If you aren't aware, I have a giveaway going on for a brand new record player that was gifted to me by Angel's Horn. They sent me one to test, and they sent me a second one to give away to one of you all. And if you are interested in that giveaway, go and watch my previous video that is all about that record player and all about that giveaway. But wait until you're done with this video, and then you can go watch that one, and it'll tell you how to enter and all the rules and information about the giveaway. But that giveaway is not happening until I reach 2,500 subscribers. So make sure to subscribe to my channel and help us get to that goal faster so that we can give this record player away. And with no more introduction, let's get into this week's video. As usual, I'm going to sit here off to the side so that I can put pictures here of the vinyl that I have created. And if you watch the first one, I started with soundtracks. So we're gonna go through soundtracks again, kind of follow the same format. And also in that first video, I started with a theme song 7-inch that I thought would just be fun to have in a collection. The first one was the American Horror Story theme song. And this one, I think would be really fun to have the Walking Dead theme song on a 7-inch vinyl. And I came up with this one because Connor and I started rewatching The Walking Dead, and I was like, man, this theme song smacks, and I would love to have it on a vinyl. I think it would just be super fun. I'm not saying it has to be pressed. I'm saying it would be cool to have in a collection. But for this one, I took the promo shot, or one of the promo shots from season 1. Rick is obviously the main character in season 1, so I put him on the center label, and then I found this like green and black swirl marble pattern for the actual vinyl, and I thought it looked really cool. And yeah, let's move on to the next soundtrack, which is Heartstopper Season 2. I did Season 1 in the first video. We're bringing Season 2 for this one, and I am genuinely obsessed with this vinyl. It is one of the first ones that I made for this part 2 video. I think these need to be made. Genuinely, these are some vinyl that I think need to be made, is the Heartstopper soundtrack. And for this one, I took a screen grab from the show that I had found on Google or somewhere, and it's them sitting in front of the Eiffel Tower. And then the vinyl for this one is this really pretty orangey peach-ish color, and it's got a blob in the middle. I've seen blob pressings before. I think my Ariana Grande Dangerous Woman pressing is the blob one, where it's like a purple black, almost like a blue maybe. It's got a blob in there, and I think that would be really fun to have for this one, but with this color scheme, because I feel like it fits the golden tones of the cover image, and I think this one needs to be made. Genuinely, I want this in my collection so bad, along with the rest of the soundtracks for Heartstopper, because they have some good music in that show. Now this next one is the Catching Fire soundtrack. I know that the Hunger Games soundtracks have been pressed before, but they're not really pressed anymore, and you can't really find them, and they're really hard to get, and they can be kind of expensive. So I've been recreating the soundtracks in vinyl for these videos, but for this one, I did a split red and orange pressing. I thought it looked really cool with the fire from the cover of the vinyl, and yeah, I think this one would be cool to have as as well. Now this next one is the Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed soundtrack. A lot of you really loved the first Scooby-Doo movie one that I did in the last video, so I was like, I'm gonna follow that up with the second movie. Of course, give it its own vinyl pressing. And I kind of did this on purpose with the design where the first one was kind of like the bottom half of the characters, so you knew who they were, but it wasn't like, I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't their faces on it. So for this one, I took the top half of the characters with the logo. Obviously, it's got some really cool gradient behind it with the blue and the green and the darker blue that kind of matches the Mystery Machine and kind of the color and vibe of Scooby-Doo in general, in my opinion. And then the pressing is this really cool splatter pressing. I think it would be a clear disc with the like yellow, green, blue, darker blue splatters in it. And for the center label for this one, I really wasn't sure what to put on it. So I took one of the monsters from this movie, the like single eye skeleton guys. I think they're so fun. They were cute throughout the movie. They were so unserious. And I think that would be fun to have on the center label, but I also think it could be literally anything else from the movie itself. We've got 2 more soundtracks to go through, and the second to last one is the Substance soundtrack. I watched the Substance a few months ago and I bought the soundtrack on vinyl already. It's just like a standard vinyl, but it is this really cool translucent green that looks like the activator in the vial. But I think they're missing out. I think we could do a liquid filled vinyl for the Substance. I feel like it's right there, and I feel like it could be done, and I feel like it should be done. And this would be such a cool pressing. The activator is this really cool green. It's sitting in this glass vial. So I think the vinyl for this could be like clear itself with the activator in the middle. And that's what's that super bright green. When I was designing this, I couldn't quite get the vision that was in my head to the vinyl image. So I did the best that I could. But yeah, I think the vinyl would be clear, and then the liquid inside would be the activator green. But in this image, it kind of all looks like that activator green. But I don't think that's how it should be. And then I think there's many different ways that they could go for the cover of this vinyl. I just chose one image where it's kind of their face splitting apart because there is the 2 of them in the film, and then the movie name right down the middle. I think this is a missed opportunity. If they don't make this, they're missing out. This should be made, and if it was, I would buy it immediately, hands down. Now the 6th and final soundtrack for this video is 6 the Musical. I don't think this is really a soundtrack. It would be a pressing of the New York Broadway recording of the show. You can find it on Spotify, but to my knowledge, it hasn't been pressed. I know that like the original cast recording of like, I think the cast was in London. It's got a black background. I can picture it in my head, but it's not the same as the New York cast recording, and I'm obsessed with the New York cast. We saw 6 the Musical in New York when we went last time, and we've seen it since, the traveling version. And Connor and I are both just obsessed with this musical, and so I think it needs a full run pressing. And obviously with 6 being purple, like that's their main color scheme, you got the musical cover for the sleeve, and then the vinyl itself would be this really cool dark purple. It could have some different color purples, swirls inside of it with some blue. It could even be transparent with all of these swirls going on. I think there's a bunch of different options that they could go with this, but this is just what I came up with, and this is one of the musicals I need the most in my collection. We have a couple already. I would love to have some others, but 6, this musical needs in my collection ASAP. So now that we're done with musicals and soundtracks, we're going to move on to Taylor Swift. As you all know, I'm a big Swiftie. I love Taylor Swift. I love her music. And so I kind of put her stuff in her own category. And for this video, there is only 2 vinyl that I came up with. The first one is Down Bad 7-inch. It is one of the best songs from the album. It's the one that I claimed before the album even came out. I feel like people always are like, well, I'm claiming this song before it comes out, and I think that's gonna be my favorite. I claim Down Bad. I stand with that after listening to the full album, and I would love to have it on a 7-inch. You could do the official recording on side A and then live from the Eras Tour on side B, and I think that would also just be another way to get live from the Eras Tour recordings out there, and putting it on a 7-inch I think would just be super cool. And for the sleeve photo for this, I found it, I don't know if it was on Google or if it was on Pinterest, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was a t-shirt design that Taylor's team put out on her merch store, and I was like, that's perfect. I think that in itself could be the cover. It's got the spaceship beaming down on her. It's a photo from the Eras tour, if I'm not mistaken. They have edited it a little bit, obviously, and added some text to it. For a moment, I knew Cosmic Love. I think it's perfect. I think this cover would fit absolutely perfectly for this 7-inch, and honestly, if they released it today, it'd be in my collection as soon as it got delivered. The second Taylor Swift that I have is also a 7-inch, and this one I know realistically can't be done, because if they did this one, they would have to do all of the other shows, but I would love to have the surprise songs from my Eras Tour show on a 7-inch. And I went to Denver night 2, so our surprise songs were Starlight and Back to December, and I thought it would be really fun for this pressing to be a brown like the piano, and then you could have some color splatters in there that match the flowers and the vines and the leaves and stuff from the surprise song piano. So it's got some blues and oranges in there, and that's all that was in this mock-up, but you could have the other colors in there too. I think there's like some pinks and yellows and whatever else was on the surprise song piano, and then a picture of the piano in the middle. And again, I know that they realistically couldn't do this one because then they probably have to do one for every single show, and that just logistically seems like a nightmare, but selfishly, I want this. Moving on to the third category, this is kind of all other artists. I think honestly under this other artist category, there's only 2 artists highlighted, kind of 3. So the first one is a 7-inch for Not My Fault with Renee Rapp and Megan Thee Stallion. I love this song. It was in the Mean Girls, the musical, the movie. It was an original song that Renee did, and it featured Megan Thee Stallion. And it's just honestly a good song, and I think it could do its own 7-inch record. The sleeve for it is like the actual song cover that's on like Spotify and stuff. The center label is a picture of the 2 of them that I had just found from their photo shoot, and then the disc itself would be pink, and it's almost like this marbly splatter pink with other shades of pink and white in there. Because it's from Mean Girls, the movie, the musical, I think I'm saying that correctly. I think it fit the vibe of that. It's all pink, it's plastics, stuff like that. So I think the pink matches super well. And then we're moving on to the other artists. The rest of these are all based around Troye Sivan. I think we need Troy or TRXYE on vinyl. We have most of his other albums, EPs on a vinyl or a physical pressing. We don't have this yet, and I think it needs to be. The cover could just be the simple album EP cover, with the vinyl being this really cute salmony pink color to match the paint smear that's on his face on the album cover. And then for the center label, I just chose a random photo from, it's either that photo shoot or like that time period when this album was out. The fact that we don't have it, I think, is a crime, and I think it needs to be pressed. And then we're moving into the 10-year anniversary of Blue Neighborhood, which is crazy to think that it's been out for 10 years, and this year is the 10-year anniversary. And I'm gonna put these pressings out into the universe, fully knowing that Troy himself has said that he doesn't care for some of the songs anymore. He doesn't really like them. He didn't really like them when he was writing them. However, I think he's wrong. I think the songs are good. I think they were great for the time that this album was released, and I think that album did a lot of things for a lot of people. And it kind of upsets me when artists talk about their previous work and what they do and don't like, because that could have been somebody's favorite song or somebody's favorite album, and you're just kind of crapping on it. I think he needs to honor the 10-year anniversary of Blue Neighborhood. So I've got a few pressings that could be done with this. The first one is a 7-inch of the song Wild. It's calling back to that original single cover where it's him and it's like this illustrated version with the yellow flowers over his eyes. I used to actually have this picture as a sticker on my laptop in college. And then the vinyl for this one is this really pale yellow to match the wild and the flowers. And I think it would just be a really fun, cute little addition to throw out for the 10-year anniversary. I think we could also do 2 different full 12-inch pressings for this. The first one I think could be a picture disc. I think the album cover in itself is pretty iconic, and I think just put that on a picture disc and you could do a really fun sleeve for it, as long as it's not just PVC, because I think we're over PVC sleeves. They're tired, they're boring, they don't need to be done anymore. Put some work into an actual sleeve, even if it's a picture disc. You can find a way to show it off still. So this is what I came up with. I think this one would be really cool to have. I love the album cover, and putting it on a picture disc would be perfect. And then the second one and the last one under other artists is just this really fun blue swirl pressing for the album. I kind of tried to mimic this from the sky in the album cover itself. It's got those different shades of blue. It's also also got some yellow in there. It's got some orangish pink in there. And while I don't think that this mock-up that I came up with shows that off the greatest, that's what I was going for. And I think they could do better with an actual pressing than what I was able to create. But I think with those two pressing and a wild 7-inch, I think you've got a 10-year anniversary like special edition set right there to celebrate the milestone for that album turning 10 years. And I personally would just love to have every single one of these in my collection, as kind of with everything else that I've been showing. And now we are on to the final section of this video, and that is suggestions from some of you on the part 1 to this series. You left them in comments on that video, and I was like, I'm gonna follow through with some of these. So here we go. I only picked 3 of them because honestly, I was trying to work on a lot of them, but I'm such a perfectionist that I'm like, if it's not working, I'm gonna scrap it. I'm gonna go back to it later, and I'm not gonna put it out for this video. So I do still have some from that other video that I would love to get to, but here are 3 that I did complete. The first one is a Taylor Swift record. You might be saying, why didn't you put it with the other Taylor Swift? And that's because I wanted to include them here in this subscriber suggestion section of the video. So this first one is Safe and Sound and Eyes Open, both being Taylor's version on this really pretty red color vinyl with some photos from the photo shoot. I'll put the comment here that the person had left, and I tried to follow what they were thinking for the pressing while also like putting my own little creative spin on it a little bit. And you can also see that this pressing has some like black marbling to it. I think that would be really cool to just deepen it a little bit more for the more mature Red Taylor's version era. And yeah, I think the photo shoot from this album is just really good and it's really cool. And so I think using that for the cover and also the center label would just like be really cohesive, and I think it fits this vinyl perfectly. Now the second one is another Taylor Swift record that was included. Some of you are probably getting really tired of hearing me talk about Taylor Swift and are like, you're really doing another one? Yes, because it was pretty easy to do, and I kind of agreed with the comment, even though now I can't find the comment. I just went back to try and find it so I could screenshot it and include it, and I can't find it. So if you commented this video, please let me know down below. I'm gonna keep looking, but I don't know if it was deleted or what happened, but this person wanted to see Lover, the remix featuring Shawn Mendes on a 7-inch record, and I think that's actually an incredible idea. It has its own cover already for that remix. There is a picture of Taylor and Shawn in her like weirdly edited photos with whatever that filter is that she used to put on every single one of her pictures. So I put that on the center label, and then the vinyl itself is just this really pretty pink and purple marble swirl vinyl that I think matches everything perfectly. I think you could even add some yellow into that vinyl, but I wasn't able to do that with this mock-up, but I think you could add yellow into that to make it match the cover even more. And I think this one just makes a lot of sense. I know people really like this remix, and it's not on a 7-inch already, and so I think it could be. And now the last one for this entire video, the last subscriber suggested vinyl, is the Finding Nemo soundtrack. I saw this comment and I was like, yeah, I'm here for that. That needs to happen. I found a picture for the front of the sleeve, and then I put a picture of Nemo on the center label because it's called Finding Nemo, so I didn't want him to be on the front. I was like, you have to find him, so he's on the center label. Do you get what I'm saying? That was my train of thought. And then I tried to make the vinyl itself be like this oceany swirl pattern. It could either be this white and blue, or it could be clear with blue. I think either would be fine, as long as it looks like the ocean and ocean waves. I think they're on the right track. So that's kind of what I came up with for this one. They had also in this comment suggested it could be like an orange and white like pinwheel to match the clown stripes, and I just wasn't able to find a similar vinyl like that where I could like edit and make more orange to match the clownfish. So that's why I went with this one, but I do agree with that comment that they could do an orange and white pinwheel to match the clownfish stripes. Well, that is it for this video. I hope you really enjoyed part 2 to my series of vinyl records that don't exist but should. This is one of my favorite videos to make. It allows me to be really creative in the vinyl pressings and the sleeves for them. And honestly, I really enjoyed also including some of your suggestions in this video. I feel like I have my music taste and I have the ones that I would love to see pressed. And then it's really cool to see what else you all would like to see pressed on vinyl. And it like allows me to get outside of my own music taste. I know too 2 of the 3 of these were Taylor Swift. I know, some of you might not like that, and I completely get it, but again, I was working on so many others, and I just couldn't get them quite right. So I want to keep going on those and maybe make that subscriber suggested pressing section bigger for the next video. So if you have any that you would like to see me make sure to leave a comment down below of what that is. If you think it's a band or an artist that I might not know, make sure to put like what the artist name in the album is. And if you have ideas already for like kind of what you would like to see the pressing look like, I'd be open for that too. Sometimes it's really cool to already have a starting point to jump off of, because when you combine lots of creativity, sometimes something really cool gets made, and it really just helps me have a place to start. Yeah, if you would like to see some of your suggestions in the next video, make sure to leave them down below. And as always, make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, of course, and subscribe to my channel. Help me reach that 2,500 subscriber goal so that we can give away a brand new record player to one of you all. And I think that is it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching and continuing to support my videos and my channel, and also for allowing me to take like a month-long break when I just really need it because life gets super busy sometimes. So I really appreciate that, but I'm really excited to be back making more content and more videos for you all. And with that, I hope you all have an incredible rest of your day and an amazing weekend, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.